Now, don't judge me. I never told y'all I was right. I never told y'all I ain't got issues. I never told y'all that. So y'all don't get mad at me. Y'all don't look at me sideways. I never told y'all that.
What's your name? What's my number? What's your name? What's my number? My name's Kia. My name's Kia. What's your name? What's my number? What's your name? What's my number? My name's Kia. My name's Kia.
Hey y'all, it's Diddy, of course. Who else would it be? Y'all see my new mask? Hold on, let me get the other one. Y'all see that? I love like this little nose part right here. How it come up like that. Y'all gotta get y'all an Auntie Sweetie. I told y'all about my Auntie Sweetie before. She gave me a whole bunch of these masks. Y'all go support her business. I want to say it's called Sweetie's Creations. And I will link the business at the bottom. You can find her on Instagram. Very sweet lady. Y'all go support her. Black business, y'all go support her. But this is this is the mask I asked for. She also sent me this one. So, like that, but it's reversible. So you can do it like this too. I like this one too. And this one. So I mean, she got a little bit of everything for everybody. You know, she got a little bit of this and that for everybody. You know, this is for your girls that's on the wild side. You know, this for your little divas. This for your Bloods and your Crips. And this for your Army girls, you know. So y'all go check it out. I wanted to give you guys a story time. Today's story time is going to be about this boy I work with at Chick-fil-A. I told y'all I was going to tell y'all a story about him. Because this is a pretty interesting story. You know, I'm about to say my younger days. I'm still young, but like when I was 17. You know, I'm 26 now, so I was 17 at the time. So if I went back in time with what I know now, I wouldn't have done what I did. But it's a learning experience, and I think you guys will enjoy this story. Let me jump right into it, as I always say. This boy's name, we're gonna call him Malcolm. So, when I was 17, I started working at Chick-fil-A. My cousin gave me an opportunity, and it was my first job ever. I was still in high school, and I'm really enjoying this job. Like, I'm at this point, you know, I'm getting pretty close with my coworkers. You know, when you work in an environment like that where all of y'all are young and y'all are close-knit, it's a real comfortable vibe, and y'all laugh, joke, things get inappropriate, things like that, you know. So it's a real comfortable vibe, and that's one of my favorite jobs I ever had. So I was here before this boy Malcolm was there. I remember the first time I saw him, I was like in the front. So I was like the person you had on the mic. It's a great day at Chick-fil-A. It's Didi. How can I help you?
My pleasure.
All of that stuff. You know, all of that extra stuff they do. All that sweet stuff. I'm on the speakers. I'm at the front counter. I'm, you know, out there in the lobby, stuff like that. But I'm customer focused, customer interaction type. You know, that's my job responsibilities. But when Malcolm came, he was in the kitchen. So his responsibilities were like washing dishes, preparing the chicken, stuff like that. I remember when I first laid eyes on Malcolm, he was tall. And when I say tall, he was taller than me. Dark skin. When I tell you this nigga was dark skin, like this nigga was dark. His arms, like, y'all know them arms on a nigga, like when they built, like they be working out and stuff. Like he looked like he lifted weights or something. And he was also in high school. He might have been like 1 year under me. So when I was 17, he was probably 16. I was 18, he was 17, you know, like that. Kept it like a low cut. He didn't keep it like taped up that much all the time, but it was decent. Like he kept the haircut. He went to a school that was more so diverse. Maybe had more white people than black people, but he didn't carry himself necessarily like that. He was a quiet guy. I remember that was something that was so attractive to me about him. He was a quiet guy. He was so quiet and mysterious to me. Like, I remember my eyes locked on him and I just could not get him out of my mind. I know he's straight. I know that. You know, I know that I am to assume he's straight because I don't get any signs of him being gay. But I fancied him. And so I remember, I'm not the type that's gonna tell everybody about my crush like that. You know, unless I'm with some girlfriends or something and we all talking about who we like and it come up or something like that. I'm not gonna just come out and tell you that I like this person. I'm gonna keep it to myself. And keep in mind, y'all, this is the big part. At this time, I'm 17 in high school. I had not come out. So I hadn't even come out. I am presenting as male at this time. So I had not even come out as gay. You know what I'm saying? I had not come out at all. That's the biggest part to this story. I had not come out. I'm shy. I'm unsure of myself. I have these straight crushes. I've never experienced love. I've never experienced a relationship. No one ever has got me a Valentine's Day gram. And y'all, you know what they used to do in school and stuff. I've never experienced these things. And I just fancy people, or I have crushes on people that I know I can't act on because I'm not out. And I happen to like boys that are straight. And even though I feel like I can relate to women, I'm in this body, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I was just so unsure of myself at the time. I was just so still exploring the world, still learning about myself. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm trying to recall this story as good as possible. It happened so long ago, but it's something I'll never forget because it's just like a crazy story. Y'all, don't judge me. I never told y'all I was right. I never told y'all I ain't got issues. I never told y'all that. So y'all don't get mad at me. Y'all don't look at me sideways. I never told y'all that. I remember there was something in the back, like in the office. We had, like in the back, there was a list with all of our names, like on the schedule. And so I remember I saw his name, and I want to say next to our names was like our phone numbers. And I remember, I can't remember if it was our phone numbers there or if it was just our names, and I was able to find his first and last name and look him up like on Facebook or something and find his number from there, or if his number was up there and I just notated it and got his number from the sheet. But in any case, I got his information from that sheet. Y'all follow me now. So I got his information from the sheet. And I called myself, I want to say I put an app on my phone, one of them texting apps. So like Text Me, Text Free, something like that. And so I put the app on my phone and I'm texting him. You know, I'm thinking I got it all figured out. I'm smart. I'm not going to use my number. He ain't going to never know it's me texting him, but I'm texting him. But here's the gag. I'm texting him as though I'm a girl. I'm texting him as though I'm a girl. And so I'm thinking he'll never figure out it's me. So I text him, and I'm like, I can't remember the details of the conversation. I really can't. So I'm gonna give y'all the highlights, but I'm pretty much like, hey, I'm probably like, I have a crush on you, I like you, whatever the case may be. And he's entertaining me, you know, because he's thinking I'm a girl that he maybe seen around. I think I told him I went to his school or something like that. And so he was like, I remember the craziest thing was, I could tell he went to a diverse school because his question was, this is the craziest question to me, but he was like, are you black? Are you white? Are you Egyptian? I'm thinking to myself, Egyptian? Of all things he could say, he said Egyptian. I had never heard nobody ask, is somebody Egyptian? So I knew like the school he went to is diverse, you know? So I told him I'm black. I forgot what I told him my name was as a girl. But he's texting me and he's he's interested and intrigued by this person that's texting him that he doesn't know who it is. And so I end up sending him a naked picture. And the naked picture is of me. But it's not showing like my front part. It's showing like, it's like a picture from behind. And so he sees the picture and he likes it, you know. He likes the picture. And so I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just thinking about this whole situation. It's crazy. And so he's texting me still. He's still trying to figure out who I am. And, you know, I'm not saying, you know, who I am or anything. But this is the gag. So we both go to sleep. You know, he has got that picture of me. He liked the picture. We still talking. The next morning, he might have hit me up. Now, I probably was thinking at this point that I probably wasn't going to talk to him no more. But I want to say he had probably hit me back up. I want to say. And when he hit me back up, at this point, I felt kind of bad for some reason. Now, if I was smart, I should have just stopped texting him completely. Because I really don't think he would ever put two and two together. But me being like sensitive, or me being like how I am, I felt guilty and I felt bad. And so I told him, I said, I'm really sorry. I said, I'm not really a girl. And I didn't mean to, because I noticed he was still interested and I felt bad. So I was like, I'm not really a girl, so I'm sorry for texting you. When I tell you that was the worst decision I could have made, this boy was hot. He was, when I tell you, he was hot. And the first thing he said was, you know how niggas be. They be like, I don't play that game, man. And when I find out who you are, you're dead. He was saying all this type of stuff. And, you know, at this point, I'm still thinking, okay, he just talking. And so then he started, like, guessing who it is. He said, are you such and such? Like, he was saying, I guess somebody that went to his school. And I said, because, you know, you can kind of, like, if you're thinking about, like, who the gay people in your life are, you can kind of go back and be like, who feminine or who gay? You know, even if they haven't come out, who's feminine? Or, like, who do I think it could be? Who have I dealt with lately? And so he was like, are you such and such? And it was this boy that I guess went to his school. And I said, no, that's not me. I said, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't intend on it to go this way. So I apologize. But he was still hot. He was still trying to figure it out, still trying to threaten me, stuff like that. When I find out who you are, you know, I'm going to beat your ass and stuff like that. And so when I tell y'all, the next thing that came out his mouth was this.
Oh, you that gay nigga from Chickfila, ain't you?
When I tell y'all, my heart dropped. I had butterflies in my stomach. I just wanted to disappear. I wanted to just go back in time and be like, oh my God, this never happened. And when instead of me lying, like I'm not the biggest liar or anything like that. I don't like to lie like that. You know, and I feel guilty about that type of stuff. And so instead of just lying and saying, no, that's not me, I said, because I guess in my mind I was thinking, I don't want him to think it's another gay person and him attack them. And they had nothing to do with that. And it was really me. And so I was like, I had to fess up. And I was like, yes, it is me from Chick-fil-A. And I said, I apologize for doing that. I said, you can beat me up. Y'all don't look at me sideways. I see y'all. Don't look at me sideways. I promise to y'all, I'm serious. I was like, you can beat me up. I'll meet you somewhere so you can beat me up. But I ask that you please don't expose me. Don't tell anybody that I'm gay, you know, because I'm not out. I just thought about the panic I had when I first told him. It's like amazing how I'm living the life I am now, but yet at that time I was so scared to be found out to be gay. Like when niggas and hoes probably already knew that the whole time. Like they knew that the whole time. I'm not gonna say probably, like it's obvious, you know. I've always had this femininity about myself. You know, that was always me. Even as a little child, I always was like that, you know? So it's just like, I was so scared about being found out when I was already out, you know? So it's just crazy that was just the biggest fear to me. And it really was. That's why I can understand like how DL men think. I can understand how they think, because I remember at the time I was just like, I didn't want nobody to find out. And I was feminine, so I got that all the time. He gave, stuff like that. So, and obviously he assumed that I was, even though I didn't tell anybody on the job, that I dealt with anybody. He just assumed that I was because of how I acted. And so this was a blessing from God, because at this point, when I told him that, when I confirmed that it was me and that I was sorry and that, he can beat me up and just let bygones be bygones and just don't say nothing to nobody. I'm really sorry. Please, like that. When I said that, it's like he had a change of heart. It was like he had a change of heart. And so he was like, don't worry about it. I'm going to let it go this time. I just don't play that. And, we good. Like, he was like that when I said that. And I don't know if he said that because he knew he was on this job with me and he didn't want no issues on the job. He knew that maybe he knew that was my cousin that was there, and he might lose his job potentially if my cousin were to find out. I don't know if that's why he had a change of heart, or if he was just really trying to scare me the whole time. But he presumably, I thought he was gonna let it go. At the time, I thought he was gonna let it go. I remember the following day when we were at work. And listen, y'all, I'm still nervous. And this is why I feel like I can deal with a lot of awkward situations. I can deal with them because this was one of the most awkward situations that I ever had to deal with. Is exposing myself to a guy that I liked. Not only did I expose him and tell him that I liked him, but that I was gay as well. And we had to work together. We just worked together for a long time after that. And so I remember the following day, I'm on the headset. And I know he come in a little bit later than me. So I'll probably come at maybe 2 or 3. He come in at 4, something like that. And so I'm on the headset, and I just remember being so frozen to where my back is turned the whole time. I'm not looking back in the kitchen. I'm just facing this computer the whole time. And when I look back, periodically when I look back, I see him glaring at me. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, so he did tell me, he was going to let it go. So why is he looking at me like he want to chop my head off with that knife he got in his hand? I remember thinking that, I was just thinking, this is really awkward. I don't know if he's trying to make me uncomfortable, but he was glaring at me. Every time I turned around, I would catch his eye, and he just did not look like he was for any type of games at all. So I was just turned towards the screen, just waiting on orders to come. But eventually, I have to walk through the kitchen and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to walk through the kitchen. And so for a long time, I'm not gonna say for a long time it went just like that, because he would stop glaring at me. We just wouldn't talk. We wouldn't talk. And so I would walk past him, he would walk past me. We wouldn't communicate. The only time we would communicate is if there was a need, if we had to, if it was about the job. But even with that, we would barely speak. Our jobs didn't require us to speak like that. I could speak to somebody else in the kitchen, but we would not talk. And I don't know if anybody else noticed that, or maybe they just thought it was normal for somebody like him, who was straight, not to really deal with a gay person. But I remember Frank Ocean was playing. This is when Frank Ocean was real big. Was just coming out and was real big. Frank Ocean was playing. And I remember one of the girls, I guess she must have talked to him or something, because he was he didn't like Frank Ocean. And I remember the girl came up to me on the side and she said, Malcolm, it was something to the degree of, I don't understand Malcolm. He said he don't like Frank Ocean music because he's gay or something like that. He can't get with that. I guess Malcolm doesn't like gay people or something like that. And I was just thinking to myself, that kind of made me hot, because this nigga like really did not like gay people. And it's okay if you don't really, fancy them, or if you don't, if you're not attracted to them. That's all of that is fine. But like, for you to say that you don't like somebody's music because they're gay, like that's just a little too much, And I could tell he was kind of ignorant. So that kind of had turned me off. Like, that's the thing about a crush. It's a crush. So you don't really know. You might not know all that this person really is. I was just looking at him. He was attracted to me. He was quiet. I thought he was mysterious. But beneath all of that was a person that really was not compatible with me. He wasn't kind. He had these ideas in his mind that was just so different from mine. And we would have never been compatible even if he was attracted to me. I'm not going to lie. I noticed that a lot of people, they took a liking to him. Like, he was very kind to a lot of the girls that were there. And a lot of the girls that were there happened to be my friend. Now, shortly after me and him had that situation, I ended up coming out on the job. I came out in college, and I happened to be on the job at the time. And I felt so liberated and stuff like that, especially if I felt like he didn't have anything over my head or anything like that. It was no big secret now. Not that I told him about that situation between me and him, but it's just like, I'm out now. So he doesn't have something that he can hold as leverage over my head. We still not talking, we still not, anything like that. But a lot of people started taking a liking to him. In my head, I'm just like kind of like irritated because I'm like, they don't really know that I don't F with this dude and this dude don't F with me. And it was more so like, I don't F with you because you don't F with me. But I kind of had gave him a reason not to F with me because I tried him and he wasn't like that. I understand that. But at the same time, like, I'm y'all friend and y'all cool with this person that really don't F with me or that feels some type of way. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't know the situation, I don't think.
But then again, some of them did.
So anyways, I remember we was in the kitchen. He must have said something about somebody. And I remember I was washing dishes with my back turned to him. And I forgot who he said something about, but I was like, ooh, I'm gonna tell her what you said. And I started walking towards where the person was to the front. Store was closed, it was late. We was cleaning up and stuff like that. And he was like, no, don't do that. And I'm walking that way to like go tell the girl what she said. Now listen, I'm not a messy person, but I didn't like him like that. Like he got on my nerves and I didn't like him. So I was just like let me tell you what I was trying to do. I was trying to find a way that I could like go off on him basically, which is what I did. And so I knew if I kind of like started something.
That sounds so messy.
Listen, it was crafty. I'm not a messy person, but I can't be a crafty person if I don't like you. I forgot how it happened, but then I was like, it ended up turning into, I heard what you said about me or something like that. Like he must have said something about me or something like that. And that's why I went to go tell her what he had said about her so that I could really talk to him about what I wanted to get off my chest. I was really going off on him, and he wasn't paying me no mind or whatever. Or he was, but he just was like, he couldn't believe I was going off on him like that. And then I remember I had left. And I remember that was just, it was what it was. And at the time I was thinking, I don't know if this boy gonna try to fight me or something, but I was just irritated. I was mad, so I just spoke my mind at the time. And I was being messy at the time. I eventually found out from some of my girl coworkers that he had told them about the situation. But he kind of put a twist on the story. He told them that I used a picture from Google. That I used a picture from Google and sent it to him of a female. That picture was of me. He may never know that. He probably thought it was a picture from Google or something, but it was of me. But he told him, he got a picture from Google and sent it to me and acted like he was a girl. He ended up telling them when he really told me at the time he wasn't going to say anything. And that was like my big, I don't know if he was trying to hurt me or something like that. Like that was his way of getting back at me since he didn't beat me up or whatever. But he told them. I don't know. He probably, at the same time, he probably wanted to defend himself. Like he didn't want it to come out like if I was the type of gay person that'd been like, oh yeah, he came on to me and like lied on him or something. he probably felt like I could possibly do something like that. Even though I'm not that type of person, he didn't know that. And so he probably had to beat me to the punch and tell them how the story went, you know, from his point of view. And I understand that, but, you know, at the same time, I told you, you know, don't tell nobody this, that, and the third. But he ain't had no loyalty to me, and I didn't have no loyalty to him, so it is what it is. But anyways, the next day after I went off on him, I remember he came up to me and he said, I'm sorry about such and such. He said, we good, we cool. And he stuck his hand out. So we shook hands and I said, we good. You know, and y'all know, like for me, that made my heart drop. Like that made me like, I was like, wow, he really got a heart. Like he was able to move past that whole situation with me and him, what I did to him. And then he was able to move past the situation where I just went off on him. And he was maybe able to understand where I was coming from. And he just shook my hand. This boy that really don't like me just shook my hand. So I was like, wow, like we can maybe make some progress, you know? And so I'm thinking everything cool, smooth over. We maybe don't have to talk, but we can work together now in peace. And that is until his friend started working now. Now his friend was a handsome boy, light-skinned, real handsome. I ain't had no issues with him. Like he ain't really talk to me either. Like I said, straight niggas don't usually really talk to no gay boy like that, you know? So we didn't really have no issues though. Like it just was what it was. He wasn't checking for me. You know, it is what it is. And I remember, you know, with his friend being there, you know, that was his little kiki partner, you know, whatever. And so this is the day where it came to a head. I was assigned to work up front. He was in the kitchen with his friend. Now, as I'm walking back and forth, I have to go to the kitchen and stuff like that. Now, at this point, I still got a little small crush on Malcolm. I do. I'm walking through the kitchen, and I hear, real faint, I hear him say to the boy, every time I see him, I wanna knock him out or something like that. He said that to his friend, and I remember I felt so defeated. I felt so low because I just felt like my crime is admiring him, having a crush on him. That was my crime. And yes, I let him on for one night. For one night, I acted like I was a girl. And then the next night or the next day, I apologized and said I felt bad for playing with him like that. And he just was so upset from that day forward. And yet, months down the line, you're saying to your friend after we done shook hands, you're saying you want to knock me out every time you see me. So you're obviously still not over that anger you have. I felt really uncomfortable. And at that point, I wanted to just stay up front. I didn't want to have to be in a position where I had to keep going in the kitchen. And so I remember, I think I told my manager, I said, I don't want to go back there. I can't remember if I told her why I didn't want to go back there. Like, you got to think, we all kind of like friends and stuff like that. So it's not like in a corporate job when you tell your manager something. And, you know, it's kind of like, she might not take me serious like that because we all friends and stuff. And she might be like, just go back there, you know, stuff like that. And so she didn't really understand that I just wasn't comfortable. And I was still kind of being made to kind of go back and forth, I think, in a way. And at that point, what I did was I walked off the job. That was my first job I walked off. I walked off the job because I just felt so uncomfortable. So I felt so low and felt so uncomfortable. I just was hurt. I was hurt too. I was hurt. And because like I said, there was still part of me that liked this boy, that still had a crush on him. And I was just hurt. I was uncomfortable. I didn't want to be there, so I walked off the job. So what happened was, the following day or whenever it was, I had to talk to one of the managers there, and the owner operator. They had a meeting with me. They were only concerned about me walking off the job, but they basically told me that they were asking me to resign. They gave me an option to resign, and so I did. I resigned in lieu of being fired, you know. And if I could go back in time, I would have worked at Chick-fil-A longer. I would have never sent that boy that message. But then if I never sent that boy that message, maybe I wouldn't have came out as soon as I did. And maybe, you know, it's just like so many things in life. It's a cause and effect. So you wonder, like, if you take this back, where would you have been today? Like, sometimes it's like just a wrinkle in time that can just change the whole course of your life. And so I don't take it back. You know, I can't take it back, of course, but all of those things, everything that has happened in my life has made me who I am today. And as embarrassing as that situation was, as vulnerable as it made me, it still built my character. It still taught me a lesson. There was a lesson to learn in that. And I know not to do something like that again, you know? But I was 17, young, crushing, young gay boy. That was one of my worst experiences. One of the worst experiences, most awkward experiences that I had to live through, because I had to keep going to work with this boy every day until I eventually got comfortable again. You know, I eventually, you know, it would always cross my mind every time I walked past him. Every time I saw him, that's something you don't forget. Like, you know, you sent him a naked picture. You know, you like had led him on that one night. You never forget that. You know, one thing that job also taught me is that, like, these same people who I was friends with, we was all up in each other's face and stuff like that. We'd even go to like Applebee's after work sometimes, you know, stuff like that. Might text each other. These same people, ain't nobody check on me after I left. Ain't nobody text me and say, "Oh my, you okay? You good?" Ain't nobody really text me. I can't recall anybody texting me, and that showed me, like, not everybody's your friend. You're not that important to people as you think you are, you know? We get that confused sometimes. And so that was another life lesson in that. Malcolm was probably one of the first guy crushes I had, straight boy crushes I had, that I actually told that I liked him. That was probably the first crush that I told, that I, in so many words, told that I liked him, because once he found out that it was me that was the girl, he basically knew that I liked him. You know, I wonder things like, what conversations were had after I left? What were people saying? What did he reveal after I left? What type of stuff did he say? Did people talk about me like a dog? You know, they probably did. You can't put stuff past people. I wish him the best. And I'll probably never see him again, you know. I'll probably never see him again. All these years I have never ran into him at all. So I always wondered, like, what would happen when he ran into me. Like, well, before I was wondering, like, when I was still a gay boy, I was wondering, like, what would happen if he saw me. But I definitely wonder how he would feel now that I'm a transgender, or I have transitioned. I wonder how he would look at me if he saw me today. I do wonder that. Not to say that he would like me all of a sudden, because I don't think that's the case. I may not be his type at all. But I wonder what he would think about me, or what he would say. You know, I know it probably would not be pleasant, but I wonder if we met today, would he be nicer? Would he be worse? Would he be the same? Would he just ignore me? Would he walk past me like I'm nothing? Would he be like, "Hey, what's up? You worked at Chickfila with me, didn't you?" And you know, you never know how people evolve. You know, so I just wanted to give y'all that story time. It's been a long time coming. That's my Chick-fil-A story time of when I lost my job or when I had to resign from Chick-fil-A and the reasons behind it. Basically, it was because I walked off the job, but I walked off the job because I was uncomfortable. And I didn't really get into all of that with my managers when they asked me to resign. So, you know, I was kind of ready to leave anyway because it wasn't a fit for me at that point because I was just so uncomfortable working with him. And, you know, again, I was young. Maybe I could have stayed or fought for my job or something like that. But it was what it was, and it is what it is. And I'm still here today to tell the story, so I must be all right. So that was it. Thank y'all for listening to my story. As I always say, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those good things. And until next time, bye.